Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Alan. Although I don't have any coffee this morning. I got a cup, one of a set. I got the black one. Wife has the pink one. Daughter has the white one. A set of cups. But it's filled with water this morning. Why? Because I am 39 hours in to a 72-hour fast. Nothing but water for the 72 hours. And I know that some fasts say, well, you can drink coffee or tea and so forth. Nothing but water for 72 hours, something I'm doing. So tomorrow will be water again. But tomorrow, Saturday at 5 o'clock, I'll be able to start eating again in the evening. But that's why I got water in my cup this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Before I get started, I want to remind people, go to enjoylifesafely.com. Sign up for that newsletter. It goes out every weekend. Good stuff to help you stay safe, enjoy life, and be exceptional. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you being here and saying hello. With the attack New Year's Day, New Orleans, which I think 14 people now, they said, have died. When I talked about it on New Year's Day, I only knew about 10, but now I think there's at least 14, and a couple others were very critical, so that number could go up. Over 30 wounded. And then what I didn't know on the day is he had a shootout with the police and 2 police officers were shot. I knew about that, but I guess they killed him. So they have a lot of information coming out, a lot of misinformation out there too. So be careful what you're reading, where you're getting stuff from. And I try to be careful what I say here to make sure it's verified and where it's coming from. And I don't want to give too much that I don't know. But what I thought would be good is to give some advice and some tips on how you can keep yourself safe during something like this. One of the best authors I know of that writes about this stuff on his blog has to be Greg Ellifritz. And so I want to show his blog and share some from him. I mean, why reinvent the wheel if we can just do that, right? I mean, he is an expert on it, and I've learned a lot from him, and I'm really proud that he promotes and endorsed Survive a Shooting, because he writes a lot about active terrorists and active shooting situations. Actually quoted him some in the book, and when I sent him the book, he heavily endorsed it, which was awesome. But this article he wrote a while back about surviving vehicle attacks, let's just look at some of the tips that he shares. So I'm going to go down here and we will look. Tip 1, face traffic when walking along the street. Okay, I mean, that just makes sense. That's for any kind of safety. When you're facing traffic, you have a better chance of seeing something that's going on and can get out of the way and do something to keep yourself safe. If you have a choice, walk along streets that have vehicle blockades or cars parked at the curbs. Okay, obviously they're going to give you the protection. So I don't know what kind of barricades they had down in New Orleans, and I'm hearing some things that they didn't use, some that they should have, and different stuff. But I foresee after this attack and with things going on, more and more events will probably have barricades and things put up, and different locations are going to have barricades put up. Recognize those because they can be something to keep yourself safe. Watch for danger signs. Okay, we're always being aware. Something that's out of the normal, speeding vehicles, sounds of collisions, revving engines, different things like that, people screaming, yelling, running. You see things like that, it should clue you in something bad's happening and you need to take the actions to keep yourself safe. Don't rush to help the injured. Yes, we want to help people, but never put yourself in danger to try to help someone else, because then we just have 2 casualties. We always have to make sure that it's safe to help someone. And, the active shooter situations, when I say keep yourself safe, then we go back and help the injured. Do not make yourself an extra casualty. We got to help people, but we got to make sure it's safe to do so. Move indoors immediately. And then Greg says, but don't stay there. Getting inside, yeah, that's going to help you from the cars, but then go out the back door and get the heck out of the area completely. So get inside where you're safe, but go through the building, go out the back, get out of the area and get to a safe area, because you don't know what else is going to go on with explosives or different things going on. Gunfire after the guy crashed and he had the shootout with the law enforcement officers. As far away as you can get to safety is key. Stay away from the attack vehicle and be alert for secondary attacks. Okay, remember, there could be explosives in that vehicle, so just once it's stopped doesn't mean the threat is over, and there could be more than one working together. Don't draw your firearm while you're attempting to figure out what's happening. You don't want to be running around with a gun, okay? Trying to be here, if you have a concealed weapon and you know 100% this is the bad guy and you feel it's prudent and responsible to stop the violence, and that's the only way to do it, by all means. But don't be running around with your gun out, not knowing where the things are going. You can then be seen as a possible threat by either law enforcement or another concealed carrier, and it could get bad. Okay? Keep your gun concealed until you're ready to use it, because you can engage the threat. Don't loiter on unprotected sidewalks. And most sidewalks are probably unprotected, right? So we just got to be careful and weigh the pros and cons with that. Be able to deal with charging attackers. Okay. And here he's talking about gun people that don't train empty hand. Sometimes, you say, well, I'll just shoot him. If you don't have time to draw your weapon, you need to have other skills, stepping off line, using your hands to stop, create distance, draw your weapon, and so forth. And there's a lot that goes into that with training. Know how to treat knife wounds, vehicle impacts, and blast injuries. So having the knowledge to give first aid is important. Knowing how to use a tourniquet, knowing how to use a pressure bandage, knowing how to use a chest seal if a bullet enters and punctured the lungs. So any first aid, advanced trauma care, stop the bleed training that you can get, you will be able to help yourself and others when needed. So those are 10 little tips. And then I want to show you that. Go to activeresponsetraining.net. So it's important. It's a .net. Activeresponsetraining.net is Greg's website. You can read that full article. You can read a ton more. He has so much great information at that site. And so I want to send you to Greg's site. Tons of information. I go there frequently to learn and educate myself. He often has on Fridays a whole blog post of other blog articles that are worth reading. And I often go there and will share those articles on the Survive and Defend site. So go to Greg's site, learn from him, valuable resource. Join his Patreon, buy his book on travel safety, and he hasn't set up his 2025 courses yet because he's going through some other things and he's going to have limited teaching this year. But if you have a chance to learn from him in person, highly endorse that as well. I want to say good morning to Dixon. Dixon says Fort Bragg, now Liberty, is a apparent link between New Orleans and Las Vegas terrorists, but could just be a coincidence considering the size of the military base, over 50. Exactly. The people have gone through Bragg, whether it's 82nd Airborne, 18th Airborne Corps, Special Forces, tons of people throughout the years. So, yeah, they're trying to say there could be a link, but is there? It might be just a coincidence with the truck that blew up in Vegas and the terrorist, because he was a former military guy that was killing people in New Orleans. But I hope those little tips get you thinking about how to stay safe when you're out on the streets. I don't want you to stay home and avoid the streets, but I want you to stay safe when you're out there. And Greg's article was just a good little reminder for some basic things. Read that article. I'm going to put out more as well in the future on this kind of thing, and just continue to bring you information to help you stay safe so you can enjoy life better. Sign up for that newsletter, enjoylifesafely.com. I appreciate all of you that watch replays, listen to the podcast. Thank you to everybody. Let's make this a safe and enjoyable 2025. And I'll do everything I can to help you and make sure that happens. Make it a fantastic Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow.